Welcome back to the Inside D3 Show Season 2. Brand new episodes, brand new topics, brand new guests, and a whole lot more to discuss for you guys. I don't know about y'all, but I'm super excited to get this new content out. So be on the lookout for new episodes on all of our platforms. You can follow us on our website at InsideD3.com. D3 Inside is still the Twitter and the Instagram, and for our Facebook and all of our streaming platforms, just search the Inside D3 Show. So yeah, I'm done talking. Enjoy the season, enjoy the show, and thank you guys for watching. Thanks to the guests and everyone else that's been supporting since day one. Joining me today is Adrienne Mulliken. She is the commissioner of the Colonial States Athletic Conference. So Adrienne, welcome. Thank you for joining us on the show today.
Thanks, Morgan. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. So before we get started, I just want to say that the topic for today is solely on officiating. We have a lot to cover today. So Adrienne is going to be joining us and telling us a lot about this project that she's working on. So before we do that, Adrienne, can you give us a quick little background on yourself and, sort of your journey through athletics?
Sure. So I have been in athletics administration in some way, shape, or form since the late 90s. And when I was in college, I knew that I always wanted to do something in sports. I didn't quite know what, but athletics has always been a big part of my life. And I got my start in the field of sports information. I was an SID at a bunch of different Division I schools. So my primary focus was on a select number of sports. I did a lot of traveling. I got to meet a lot of people, got to see a lot of big time events. It was a really, really interesting time. And then I transitioned from the Division I world into the Division III world in 2006. And worked for a Division III institution in Maryland for about 7 years and really got to know an entirely different side of athletics, which was really eye-opening. And as a former Division III student athlete myself, I was a swimmer back in college. It was really cool to be the one kind of behind the scenes, behind these athletes that I was one of them at one point. And I never knew all the things that went into putting on an event and doing publicity and things like that for a Division III program. So that was an amazing experience. And from there, I was fortunate enough to secure the assistant commissioner position here with the CSAC, which gave me yet another chance to get a perspective in the world of athletics from a conference standpoint and see what goes on at that level as opposed to exclusively being on campus and just having one institution to be responsible for. So as the assistant commissioner with the conference, I was given a number of different responsibilities, most of which were similar to my responsibilities in sports information, but also a lot of different responsibilities. And I was then fortunate enough to be promoted to the commissioner in 2016 when my former boss left to take another position with another conference in her home state. And I've been here ever since and experienced things I never thought I would experience. Obviously, COVID has been crazy, but we went through a pretty major membership transition in our conference, which taught me a lot. And so between those two things, I just feel like my career so far has been very full, but I'm still excited about what the future holds as well.
Gotcha. So let's just transition into this project that you are working on, you and a lot of other, Division III institutions and, leaders in Division III. So it's about the state of collegiate officiating. And, we talked a little bit earlier about just a lot of what this field is going through right now. So can you give us a little bit of a background on that first and then talk a little bit about what you all are working on for this project?
Absolutely. So I think anyone involved in athletics in any capacity knows that officiating is an integral part of the experience. And so some fellow commissioners and I um, took it upon ourselves to form a task force within Division III to address what we felt at the time was we were on the verge of a crisis, or some of us considered us in a crisis at that time, when it comes to officiating and how the profession is a major component of the athletic experience. So back in January 2019, I think is when this process officially started. And what we determined is that we had a lot of ideas or thoughts on what we thought were the major issues surrounding officiating, but we wanted to validate those ideas from the constituents that were directly involved with the profession of officiating, like officials assigners or the conference commissioners themselves, the coaches, the officials themselves. So we began a huge process of data collection that was going to then allow us to analyze that data. And then after performing that analysis, we would then transition into the phase that we're in now, which is the development of a strategic plan that is aimed at addressing a lot of those concerns and trends that we saw throughout the data collection and analysis, right? So it is I will call it a labor of love, because it is an enormous undertaking. I think it's more than someone on the outside might just perceive as, we need more officials, we need better officials, things like that. There is so much, and that's what's really been interesting to me, Morgan, throughout this process to learn, is that this is such a multifaceted project that I think in the end will be incredibly transformative in what we consider the student athlete experience. And I am really proud personally that Division III has taken the lead on this, because certainly Division II, Division I, if we're talking just in the NCAA, obviously, have officials and concerns and things like that as well. But I think for Division III to be the leader and be spearheading this effort, which will be collaborative with those other divisions and other entities as well. But for Division III to be the one that's taking the lead on it has been really gratifying for me, because I think it demonstrates to our division that we truly do value the Division III student athlete experience, and we recognize that this is a huge component of that. So it's going to be a huge undertaking, like I said, and we've got some awesome people involved with this process. So I'm just honored and privileged to be part of it, and I'm excited to see where we go from here.
Same. I'm very excited to know that Division III is one of the people that really pushed forward this initiative, and I'm hoping that in the future we can see a lot more representation, a lot more officials in themselves, and even a lot more development within the officiating department as well. So I'm looking forward to all of those. So in order for me to transition into my next question, I want to ask you, what do you hope to see for the future of officiating and the state of officiating right now? In the next couple of years, obviously this is a long-term project, but what are some of the steps that you would like to see within that 2 or 3 year window right now?
Sure. So like I said, this process has been ongoing for, well over a year and a half now. And our goal right now, with the phase that we're in developing this strategic plan for the state of officiating, the goal is to have that plan completed and delivered by mid to late January of 2021. From there, once we have that plan in place, it's going to have a 5-year term for action, right? And expectations and, measurables, deliverables, all of those things. So even though it's taken us a long time to get to this point, we still realize that it's not just going to be a simple fix. It's going to be something that's going to take time. And so what I would like to see going forward with this process is the hope that there is that agreement in collaboration between all of the folks that we need to make this happen, because I think what we've established as a committee is that this isn't going to work without a whole lot of collaboration and involving a whole lot of different areas, because what we feel are kind of the two buzzwords, I would say, that we want to attach to this project is that we've identified that it's a systemic and cultural issue that we have to address. We have a broken system right now that we need to address, and there are many cultural components of that, and they go hand in hand. So I think if we can get the buy-in from all of those involved with intercollegiate athletics to identify and just kind of buy into what we're trying to accomplish, it will make those action items easier to execute because we have that universal buy-in from all of those constituents. So that's what I'm hoping. I mean, I hope I'm conveying my passion for this project. And I know that maybe not everyone is going to share my level of passion, but I hope that they will share it to a level that's high enough that makes them want to help out or makes them want to ask, well, how can I help or what can I do? And that can be something very small or it can be something very large, but we definitely need that universal buy-in. And so that's what I'm hoping for, is that once we have this plan, we can have that collaboration to see it through.
Definitely. And we're really looking forward to seeing the progress, when it does start to happen and get the ball rolling. So, Adrian, I want to thank you for coming on and talking with us and sharing a little bit of knowledge on this subject. It's always good to talk to a fellow Baltimore native as well. So I'm
That's
happy
right.
that we can make that
Go
happen.
O's!
So yeah, thank you so much for coming on, and we really appreciate it down here.
All right. Thanks, Morgan. I appreciate it. And thanks for all you're doing for Division III as well.
Thank you so